Is upon us, and some scholars at UC Santa Cruz are exploring what scares us and why. The Center for Monster Studies is dedicated to looking at monsters all throughout history, things like zombies and vampires. They're also studying the metaphysics of creepiness and what causes it.
Joining us now, it is fascinating, Dr. Michael Chemers with the Center of Monster Studies at UC Santa Cruz. You're one of the founding directors here. When we were talking about this, we said, is this like Monsters University, Monsters Inc.? But it's not.
No.
It's not. It's much more deep than that.
It is. The Center for Monster Studies was founded in 2021 in order to generate interest and spread the word about the virtues of monster studies. Monster studies is a form of cultural studies practice which investigates monsters as sort of like texts that you can read or read against in order to uncover a society's or an individual's most primal fears, but also most fervent hopes.
Yeah, so what you're doing is you're sort of analyzing all of these monsters, these frightening figures from all throughout history and from all sorts of various cultures. So how do the monsters that we create sort of reflect that time and place that they came from?
Oh, absolutely. Monsters change dramatically over time.
Yeah.
I mean, vampires would have us believe that they are very, very old, but they only go back to about the 14th century. Whereas werewolves go all the way back to prehistory, right, we think. Of course, we don't have anything in prehistory, but some of the oldest documents that still survive in the library at Ashurbanipal, 6500 BC, are about monsters.
Wow.
So we have been interested, as a species, we've been interested in monsters as long as we have been awake as a species.
Where does that fascination come from, do you think? Have you gotten to that yet in your studies?
It's complicated.
Yeah, sure.
I think that part of what interests us, I think, most about monsters is this notion that we need to give some sort of embodiment to our fears, to help them be more manageable so that we can cope with them a little bit better, right? But the problem is that it doesn't really help. So, for instance, we may be terrified of technology, and that manifests itself as a Frankenstein monster in particular, right? You know, there's a brand new film just out by Guillermo del Toro. It's fantastic if you haven't seen it yet.
His films are always great, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so good. So we can watch the Frankenstein's monster get destroyed, get defeated. But that doesn't really deal with the deep-set fear that generated the monster. So therefore, it comes back in another form, or as, you know, somehow, son of, you know, and it keeps coming back. And every time it comes back, it changes a little bit. And those changes reflect the changes in our own fears, our own desires as we move forward through time and across cultures.
Yeah, I was reading your website because I was fascinated when they told us you were coming on. I said, what is this? I had no idea. And you said that, I guess your department had analyzed this and said that these are like, our fears are like our mirrors looking back at us. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, so I think that if you look at, there's two ways to look at a monster, right? One way is to look at the monster and see the other. And this is a very dangerous thing to do because it is the prelude for dehumanization of the other, which is, of course, a prelude for committing atrocity against the other. So it's very classic thing that humans do is monsterize people that they're afraid of, and then therefore they can feel more complacent about doing terrible things to them. But if you look at the monster and see yourself, you're on the cusp of some really powerful discoveries, some really wonderful self-awareness, right? So you were asking me before what my favorite monster is, and for me it's werewolves.
Werewolves.
There's no question about it. It's right down the money, because I think what I'm afraid of most is what I will become if I'm let off the leash, as it were, you know? Not afraid that werewolves will eat me or destroy me, but that I might become one and, like them, take what I want without guilt or fear, right?
See, this is deep.
Wow, yeah, it does get really deep.
It gets deep.
Is there a difference between something that scares us and something that's just creepy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
what is the distinction?
I think there are many flavors of fear. That run from, oh no, absolutely, like when you step out in front of a bus or something, that's fright.
Right.
There's nothing supernatural about that, though, right? Horror, on the other hand, is when you're confronted by some evidence that the world is not as you thought it was, and that your place in it is precarious and not well understood, right? So that's the difference between fright and horror. But we have so many other types of fears: anxiety, dread, panic, terror. These are all different. They're all completely different, but we all call them fear, but we experience them very differently.
Right, yeah. What do you think about just like how we are grown up, and Halloween is just a couple of days away, and all of the decorations are out, and as a mom, my 4-year-old, I'm like, oh, don't look at that, or don't look at that. Is that the wrong thing to do? I mean, should I just expose her in general? If this, you know what I mean? I'm just curious, what would you tell parents as we approach Halloween about their kids and kids being afraid of some of the things they see out?
That's a really good question. I would say, in terms of like my own perspective, as having been a child once, I've always been attracted to things that are strange and creepy and scary. And I think that part of that is to be open to new experiences and new ideas and people who are different from you, right? So I would say that the more you can acculturate them to being sensitive to the strange, the more kind and compassionate they'll be as people when they grow up.
Okay.
I like that. Okay. So we talked about this idea that we have monsters that have been sort of created from throughout history, from all sort of different kinds of backgrounds here. But what is the one through line? What is the common thread? What is the one quality that all monsters sort of have to have?
If it's a monster, it needs to have 1 foot in the possible and 1 foot in the impossible. Okay? So this is an important distinction. Monsters are always cultural. They do not exist. They are real in the sense that they have real effects on real people. Like, for instance, until the 19th century, you could be burned for being a witch. That's real, right? So, and even to this day, I think monsters affect us in ways that we're not always aware of, right? And it's important for us as scholars to sort of get to the bottom of that. But the through line is that the monster embodies both things that we are aware of, that are familiar, that are mundane, and also things that are impossible and fantastic and outrageous, right?
I love that. Yeah, sort of straddling both of those.
Exactly, and they do it in an inharmonious way.
Yeah.
Right? They do it in a delicate, fragile, and unhappy, usually, way, which is why they're so fragile, which is why when you expose a vampire to sunlight, it turns into what it should be all along, which is just a corpse, right?
Wow.
That's a good way to think about it.
You're telling us to wrap. I wish we could keep talking. And we wish you would have dressed up. That would have been amazing.
I wish I did. I wish I had known that was an option. I would have done it.
Oh,
next time. How about we have you back next Halloween?
Fantastic.
And we'll chat some more about the study of monsters. We love it. Dr. Michael Chemers from UC Santa Cruz. Fascinating stuff.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you coming on.
Happy
Halloween.
For being here. Happy Halloween to you.
Enjoy it. I'm sure it's your favorite.
It's my favorite.
Absolutely.